members that for the past 48 hours they've been moving people in mass very quickly. People are watching the cages next to them be completely emptied. They're moving hundreds of people at once.
Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVPs. So lovelies.
This video made for you, and I thought to share where Hispanic Latino people are actually still having an emotional breakdown to the fact that there is a whole lot really happening at the alligator Alcatraz. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together, because this is actually getting out of hand and there is a need for public opinion. Leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, dive into it and let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I drove from Missouri to Alcatraz and I made a bunch of connections there while I was there, and we are hearing from detainees who are communicating with their family members that for the past 48 hours they have been moving people in mass very quickly. People are watching the cages next to them be completely emptied. They're moving hundreds of people at once, and we were trying to figure out why, and they were told today that the facility is closing. We don't know why, we don't know if it's temporary, but people are being scattered across detention facilities across the country. We don't know what's happening to them. They haven't even had the opportunity to have access to legal services yet. I don't know how to track them. They're not showing up on the ICE locator. There's nobody to call. I don't know how to help them. We need help. And we don't know what's going on. Hi, my name is Taylor. I drove from Missouri to Alcatraz.
Okay, don't panic. I can almost guarantee that this is about this. You mentioned that people have been being moved for the last 48 hours. That tracks because on Thursday, Alligator Alcatraz was handed some bad news in court. Not the worst bad news that they could receive, but still bad news nonetheless, which is obviously good news for us and any decent people out there. See, a judge ordered the temporary halting of the construction of the facility. They didn't order its closing or shuttering, but just construction, and specifically from an environmental angle, which may seem like a random thing to worry about, but it's actually pretty ingenious. So this has nothing to do with the treatment of people inside the facility, which, by the way, means the administration is probably far less prepared to fight it. And all credit should go to the Miccosukee tribe because they were the ones to initiate this, and environmental groups joined in the effort. So the facility is technically allowed to continue to operate. However, over the next few weeks, there's going to be evidence gathering. And at the very least, I would imagine that they want to limit the ongoing environmental harm while discovery is going on. You know, the facility is probably going to have a larger negative impact while there are hundreds, if not thousands of people being housed there. But also it's possible that they're worried that the discovery process is going to allow for a lot more inspections and the collection and documentation of evidence, including inside those facilities. So it's possible that they just want to clear everything out so they can clean everything up real quick, and so there's no documentation of what it actually looks like at its worst, nor what the conditions are for people being held there. Now, as for the tracking of individuals as they're being moved elsewhere, those will take a little while to update in general, but probably more likely since this is a very last minute kind of scramble. So again, don't panic. I'm not going to say that there's nothing to worry about, obviously, because as long as any part of the system exists, there's plenty to worry about. But this can all probably be perfectly explained by that order, and it doesn't mean anything specifically horrifying outside of the ordinary. Hope that helps.
Oh
yeah.
What do you do there?
My cousin's in there, but
Did you get a chance to see him or not?
no, they're not letting nobody in.
What do you think about it?
He's not a criminal, man. He's here to work. He's been here 25 years with nothing on his record, and they won't even let him out.
No nothing, no ticket, no nothing. I don't know why he stay here.
Cutting the state's grass, cutting, you know, doing everything for the state, paying his taxes. Yeah, he don't have no documents, but he's the one picking up and cutting y'all grass.
What does he say about it?
They're not getting treated. They're getting treated like prisoners, basically, you know? And he got caught working. He didn't get caught doing anything else.
Has he got kids?
He has kids, yeah.
How old are his kids?
Little, like 10 and 8.
What do you think that says about this country right now?
Oh, without immigrants, this is gonna go down.
This country?
Oh, everything, yeah. Especially with the president they got. I don't know, we got a felon in the White House, right? But these are the people that he got in here that don't even got a ticket.
Hi, did you just come from the center?
Oh, yeah.
What do you do there?
So it's basically been reported that detainees at Alligator Alcatraz are literally being beaten, groped, and basically fucking tortured. And one of the reasons we know about this is because there was a leaked phone call between a man in Alligator Alcatraz and his girlfriend. In the clip, you can hear the man say that there's a lot of abuse going on inside Alligator Alcatraz. The guards at Alligator Alcatraz are extremely unexperienced and extremely power hungry, abusing their power. The guards beat, grope, and basically assault and harass them. He said that in many instances, a big group of guards will swarm over a prisoner and will beat them and step on their head. The man also said that the guards are so well protected that they even stare into the camera when beating the prisoners. And well, he also said that they're not detainees, that they're prisoners because the guards treat them like prisoners, like animals. It's also important to note that a former guard that worked at Alligator Alcatraz described the conditions inside of the prison as inhumane. The worker said that the space where the detainees are being held are oversized kennels. She explained that each tent had 8 large cages that can hold 35 to 38 inmates, which means each tent holds close to 300 people. She explained that they have no hot water, that they do not take showers or baths regularly, and that when it rains, the water seeps into all of the tents. She also explained that all the bathrooms are backed up all the time. Not only are the people who are detained in Alligator Alcatraz telling people that they are being tortured, beaten, groped, and being treated inhumanely, however, the workers who have worked there are saying the same damn thing.
We have some stunning new reporting from inmates in Alligator Alcatraz talking about the abuse they are receiving. That coupled with the whistleblower of somebody who used to work there saying it was, quote, inhumane. And remember, the people held in Alligator Alcatraz, 72%, according to Human Rights Watch, have 0 criminal record. Yet they are being held there in inhumane conditions, being, according to inmates, abused. All of this in violation of the Constitution, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Clearly, this seems to meet the criteria for cruel and unusual punishment. Well, a federal district judge just ordered the stopping, the pause, the halting of any new construction at Alligator Alcatraz. This is in connection with one of the 2 lawsuits that have been brought against Alligator Alcatraz. One of them has to do with the due process rights of the inmates. The other one had to do with environmental concerns. And it was this environmental litigation that allowed this judge to stop it because, are you surprised when they went ahead, DeSantis built this Alligator Alcatraz in order to please dear Trump, they didn't go through the necessary and required environmental review as required under federal law. So this judge putting a halt for 14 days on any new construction, just the beginning of this environmental litigation, and as we will see, even a due process litigation. But in the midst of all this, we are getting new reporting about what's happening inside. According to a phone call recording between an inmate and a family member outside that was then released to the press, the inmate says, quote, "They abuse us every day. I can't hold out any longer here. They're going to kill us. This is getting really bad. They are hitting us a lot. Abuse of power, mistreatment, racism, all of that is happening here. And we're not the vicious ones. They are, the security guards. The person fell to the floor. He fainted, I think. He lost consciousness. They didn't know what to do because they don't know how to revive someone. I don't know if that person died. They are taking him away, tearing him to pieces," end quote. He goes on to say, quote, "We have no human rights. They are treating us very badly, and with us Cubans, it's even worse," end quote. And he describes being groped by the guards over and over. I mean, this coupled with the person who used to work at the camp there saying it was, quote, inhumane conditions that the people were being held. This was a whistleblower account, somebody who spoke to NBC.
So I was just gonna show you a video of a self-hating Latina woman who calls Alligator Alcatraz a hotel. Okay, this lady is Latina. She was not born in this country. She toque like this. She says chicken. I am not making fun of her accent because my mom speaks that way and she's from Puerto Rico. But she had the audacity to say that she did it the right way. She did it the right way. And those people, those Venezuelans or those Haitianos, anybody that came here in TPS and now they're in Alligator freaking Alcatraz, a concentration camp here in Florida, that, yeah, they should be deported and they should never return back. Now, this is the lady right here, and maybe you can find her, but her video is now muted. It's probably because they reported her video for hate speech. And what's interesting to me is that she considers herself a legal advocate. For legal immigration, that is. And of course, she's blaming Biden because, you know, people that ran over here because of a dictator and he gave them TPS, well, that shouldn't have been granted. Who are we to care? Lady, I pray that ICE picks you up. I hope you have no due process. We don't have space for people like you anymore. We don't have time to try to make you understand. My biggest pet peeve has been and will always be minorities that vote against their own interests. You're like the bottom of my shoe. I wish you nothing but the worst. Bye now.
The modern day concentration camps. This is Alligator Alcatraz. Are we just gonna let this happen? Is this cool? This is surrounded by alligators. Purposefully. Y'all know the famous prison in history, Alcatraz. It was the most unbreakoutable prison or whatever the case may be. This is the new modern day concentration camps. I said what I said and I mean what I just said. This is where our tax dollars is going. All of our tax dollars, all the people that need money, need help, need food, need this, need that. This is where it's going. Right here. This is the person that y'all put in office. This is their doing. They are all for this. This is all done at the hands of them. The person y'all put in office did this. And it's for the detainees that are here illegally. When technically all of us are here illegally. This ain't our land, but that's a whole nother video. This is the modern day concentration camp.
There is a deadly respiratory outbreak happening inside of Alligator Alcatraz right now, and it's exactly the disaster that public health experts have warned us about. Attorney Eric Lee said that they began feeling ill about 72 to 100 hours ago. Many of them are having trouble breathing and extreme coughing. They are being denied masks, and they are only given showers once to twice a week. One man collapsed inside of the cage and was hospitalized. He was then transferred to a camp in Texas, but his medical records and even his writings were confiscated. A former corrections officer that worked there said she got COVID from the unsanitary conditions, porta-johns, backed-up bathrooms, no hot water, no sunlight. The CDC has warned for years that detention centers are the perfect place for outbreaks. They are overcrowded, there's no ventilation, there's limited medical care, and that warning is coming true again. But this time it could not have been more predictable. This place was built in the Everglades, in tents, in trailers with no infrastructure, in the swamp heat. It was made for suffering, and the people are paying for it with their health. People are suffering now because we chose to ignore these warnings, and that suffering that is happening inside is also a public health crisis that could spread out.
I was not going to get on here and talk about Alligator Alcatraz or whatever.
I have a feeling that's a plan you probably should have stuck with there, Bleach Brain Barbie.
But the posts I keep seeing, the TikToks, are so annoying. People who are comparing it to a concentration camp in Germany.
No, they're not. They're calling it Alligator Auschwitz, and Auschwitz was in Poland, so they're comparing it to a German concentration camp in Poland.
Like, it's not even close. Do your research.
Why is it the people that tell other people to do their research have never done their research? You can always tell from the lack of citations. They just tell you to Google it or do your own research rather than, giving you the proof that they claim to have. Or in this case, the fact that they're telling us to do our research about a concentration camp that they told us is in Germany when it's actually, in Poland, because the geographical location of the camp would have been the first thing you would have read in any research about the camp. Also, side note, why is your dad just creepily standing in the background? That is your dad, right? It's not your dad, is it?
Do your research, please. And if you didn't, I'm done.
That's it? You're done? Really? That was the best both of your brain cells could come up with? I mean, I wasn't expecting much here, but just like Melania always says, that was really short and disappointing. Maybe Grandpa back there can chime in with all of his decades of wisdom here and save this train wreck for you, though, huh?
You don't even have to do your research, because if you think it's like a concentration camp, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Plain and simple.
I don't know about all that, but after that video ending with that uncomfortably long stare, I will say that plain and simple seems to describe you to a T. This is, however, a very succinct summation of what MAGA is, though, isn't it? Telling people to do their research on a topic you are so unresearched on, you don't even know what fucking country you're talking about, all in an attempt to justify an opinion that's so wrong when it comes time to actually make a point to support it. Your brain short circuits like it's Donald Trump's electric boat and his imagination sinking in shark-infested waters. Like, this wasn't live. You had all the time in the world to come up with anything. You know, you could have wrote something down. Well, you could have, like, talked to texted something down to come up with a plan of what you wanted to say. You could have stopped and started over. You could have plagiarized somebody else's argument. I mean, I'm not saying that anything you were going to do was going to be good, but it could have been a little better. When your whole mental process there made like Elon's rockets and had a failure to launch, instead of doing that, creepy Cletus there in the background said the quiet part out loud, didn't he? He said, don't do your research, because if you believe anything other than what Jack Lantern Jim Jones has told you, you're an idiot. Plain and simple. See, because that's the reality, right? Is that you know it's a concentration camp, or at the very least, you don't know how it's not a concentration camp, which is why you couldn't articulate it in this masterpiece of short-form content you decided to put on the internet. Because I'm guessing you did actually try looking this up and you couldn't find anything to fit your confirmation bias, which is why when you tried to make a point about it, your brain started acting like a Windows 98 desktop with too many porn tabs open. And you know that if you looked into it anymore, you'd have to admit exactly what it is, because, you know, that's what it is. So you live by the law of rejecting any evidence that's not spoon-fed to you on True Social, and then just call everybody who doesn't join you in your intentional, painfully insufferable stupidity an idiot because they live in reality. I mean, after all, that's the only way you could continue to support a pedophile without coming out and admitting that you're clearly probably one yourself. So let's be very clear. It's a concentration camp. Concentration camp is just any prison camp you send people without giving them due process. Not only that, the conditions are similar to German concentration camps at one point. Hell, it's even worse in some respects because the German camps had physical walls. They weren't just a tent. There's constant flooding, clouds of mosquitoes. The food, when they get it, is bug infested. The lights are kept on 24/7. It's hot and humid. It is downright torture what they are experiencing. It's so bad they can't even keep guards there. Here's the thing. Germany didn't start with gas chambers and death camps. They started with ghettos and work camps. They started by rounding up the undesirables that were poisoning the blood of the nation. The gypsies, the Jews, the socialists, the LGBTQ community. They demonized these people for years, you know, made them carry their papers. They blamed them for Germany's fall and said to bring Germany back to greatness, these people needed to be controlled and contained, removed. And they demonized them like that for so long so that when they did finally start rounding them up and sending them to camps, fascist fucksticks like you wouldn't only justify it, but you would cheer it on. See, it is a concentration camp, and you're just doing your best to try and not believe it because your plain and simple little minds will grasp onto anything that makes you feel less subpar and mediocre than you are. And because you're too sad, pathetic, and incompetent to improve yourselves, the only way you can do that is to pretend that people who are better than you in every conceivable way, like these hardworking immigrants, that they somehow deserve the unspeakable treatment that they are currently enduring, and that that's somehow different than what Germany was doing to its undesirables in the 1930s. And of course, y'all are from fucking Florida.
I seriously love this. Truth be told, I totally even forgot about alligator Alcatraz. Like, I actually thought that that of alligator Alcatraz had been settled, and the way at which they treat these people have really improved. And now I was just going through my For You, and I came across all of the stitches that I put up here together. And it happens that, one, people are disappearing from alligator Alcatraz. People are disappearing, according to the first stage that I put up here by a pan-colored woman who decided to go visit, and the people in there, the inmates, because they've been treated like criminals, are exposing that people are being taken away. To where? Like, to where? Where are they being taken them to? Like, there are so many things really going on, and it's just too quiet. Like, it's so enabling. Like, they could just do whatever they want to do and nothing is going to happen. This is just what is given. So it is said that people have been taking away the inmates, the cell or prison or whatsoever they are, is getting empty each and every passing day. But nobody knows where they have been taking these people to. Not only that, there is a disease, an outbreak, a disease outbreak. Oh my goodness. These people, is it that they are being now treated like criminals? These guys only committed a crime of being in a place. Illegal, right? If we could use that word. So why not maybe deport them and send them back to their country? Why then detain them in one alligator Alcatraz? I think this is getting too serious these days. The fact that they are even missing, and the fact that there is an outbreak. The other time I stitched alligator Alcatraz, they talked about how they've been treated like dogs. They chain them and give them food, and they eat like dogs. Oh my goodness, love this. Oh my goodness, love this. Like, what is really happening? When I say that human being treat their fellow human being like non-human being, I think this alligator Alcatraz is just an example of what I meant. When I mean that this world right now, the season that we are right now, the level of HAT in people's mind, the way at which people will do something without even having any thought, any atom of human feelings, is so alarming these days. People do something without putting themselves in the shoes. They do it as if it's a normal thing. I am saying history repeated itself in another form. You know? People have been treated so badly. I thought these guys never, the way at which they've been treated as if they are some hardened criminals. Even they don't even treat hardened criminals the way at which they treat these alligator Alcatraz residents. The way they treat criminals, I see the way they treated even people that Pe.Ple people. The way they respectfully carry them, you know, they don't treat them the way at which they're treating these people. And to the way the lady who was complaining about her cousin being detained, I feel so sorry for her as well. But the thing is that sometimes I just ask these people, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? Nobody's trying to blame anyone. But at the end of the day, something leads to something. At the end of the day, you have to look for the root cause of the problem in order not to allow it to repeat itself. Like, I feel so sorry to whosoever that is being affected one way or the other. But it was actually something that might be avoided. I was having a discussion with someone the other day, and I was like, even if ICE or this man wanted to do all of this deportation thing, he could have done it in a way whereby to give these people an opportunity to do the right thing, maybe give them like 3 months. You have to meet to this requirement in 3 months. If you don't meet this requirement in 3 months, you will be deported back to your country. Not detaining them and putting them in a prison. I don't really know. Like, this is just so inhuman in all ramifications. This is a taboo. It is a taboo. Like, those people treating these people this way, how would they feel if they've been treated the same way? Like, sometimes, because I am someone who, when I see someone in a very tight position or condition, I try to like, oh, what if this thing happened? Like, how would I feel? Like, you have to really know how you will feel in order to enable someone else to feel the same way. Like, this is just so bad, you know. But still, there's nothing that will be done about it. We'll just keep on ranting and talking and all of that. I feel so, but then again, there's nothing that we've done. And to the Latino woman who is being SELFHAT, these are the kind of people. These are the kind of people that some many Latinos need to focus their attention on, not focusing on the people that looks like me. The problem of Latino people or Latino community or Mexican people and all that, I think some of the problem are also from their own people. Like I said, every community have its own ups and downs. There is no perfect community. Anyway, love this. That's a story for another day. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you've not subscribed, dear girl, a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.
A huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.